Well, where do you start, guys? Where do you actually start with that absolute horror show in the second half yesterday? You know, you'd think Leicester City losing to Villa last weekend, being away in Europe this weekend, losing to Napoli, dumped out the Europa League, fatigue, confidence, hopefully all low, and we can really give them a game. How wrong were we? This is Leicester City 4, Newcastle United 0, the review. Hi everybody, I'm Paul, back again with another video, and this is the review, of course, and still sitting here this morning, still angry, still very bitter about that performance yesterday. Like I said in the intro, we travelled down to that game yesterday full of optimism, because I think all Newcastle fans were thinking we could get something from the game. You know, given we just won a game, the confidence should be high, and Leicester City dumped out the Europa League in midweek. You'd think they're just struggling for a bit of confidence, a few players missing, but no. Absolutely not. I mean, first half, to be fair, we did okay. We put up a fight. We went with the same team that we did against Burnley, so we had Dubravka in goal. We had a right back of Manquillo, left back was Lewis, centre backs of Cher and Lascelles, middle of the park, Willock, Shelvey, and then we had a four of Joe Linton, Maximan, Almiron, and of course Callum Wilson up front, who we hardly saw. And that wasn't Callum Wilson's fault, really. That was just a lack of any ammunition thrown to him during the game. The first half, we were definitely in it. I mean, Johnny Evans having to go off very early with a hamstring problem meant that Leicester City had to put Wilfred Ndidi into the back four. Now, at that time, we're thinking, wow, you know, centre midfielder having to go and play in the back four. Let's get at them. He had an easy game. He had an easy ride. I mean, we did create some chances in the first half. There's no doubt about that. But after that, nothing. Absolutely flat as a fart. And like I said before, we've got players in that team who simply aren't good enough for the fight that's ahead. They're just not good enough, and we have to accept that as fans. We've also got players in there who are not team players, who try and do everything themselves, which I'll come on to a bit later. But you know what? The big talking point at the end of the first half, obviously the penalty. Now, where we were in the ground, we thought it was a penalty because obviously we saw Lascelles stick his foot out and Maddison go down. And that's when we were all putting on Twitter, oh, Lascelles, you shite, and all of this. And, you know, a lot of fans coming back to us and saying, oh, you know, how can you say that it was a dive? We didn't know it was a dive until half-time we saw the replays, which is clearly a dive, because then Maddison gets the ball, he takes a touch, and then he jumps in the air, he takes off before Lascelles is even near him. But the one thing we shouldn't be is, we shouldn't be in that bloody situation in the first place, guys. We shouldn't be. Once again, Newcastle United try and play out from the back. We can't do it. It's as simple as that. We cannot play out from the back. We've never been able to play out from the back. And so many times this season, we have tried to do it and lost the ball and given away either a set piece or a penalty. Now, look, we know the referee was shocking yesterday, right? He was terrible. Yet again, another bad referee. But it wasn't the referee that lost us the game. You know, it just wasn't the referee. We had nothing in that second half to try and inspire us to get back into the game. Now, when that penalty was given, Jamal Lascelles didn't even once question the referee. He just accepted it. Go and tell him to look at VAR, because if VAR had bothered to look at it, which some claim they did, some claim they didn't, we don't know. Surely they can't give a penalty for that. They turn around and say, sorry, but Maddison's on his way down before Lascelles is even near him. He's playing for the penalty. But by the by, it doesn't matter. It was given. Leicester scored. So you go in at half-time. Yes, you should be 0-0, but we're 1-0 down. So come out in the second half, fired up, thinking we've been wrongly done by here. Let's put it to them and stick it up them and get back in the game. But no, nothing. Flat as a fart. And let's look at these individuals in the second half, shall we? Joe Willock. Where is this player from last season? You know, I'm starting to think now that this guy, you know, when he was scoring all these goals for us last season and performing as well as he did, was playing for an Arsenal contract. I'm starting to genuinely believe that now, because he has been shocking. So bad this season. Nothing. He's done nothing to try and do anything for Newcastle United. He's like a fairy in the middle of that park. So many times yesterday, Joe Linton was having to come back and bail him out because he was so out of position. I know Joe Linton gave the ball away and they scored a 4th goal. But he was the only one on that pitch yesterday that gave a shite again. The only one. He was putting himself about, he was winning the ball back, and then he was giving it to our so-called flair players who fuck it up every time they get the ball. Almiron, a headless chicken yet again. Nothing from him. Now, people need to stop going on about, he's playing on the right side, he's a left-sided player. This guy is supposed to be an international footballer. You can't tell me that he can't play on the left or the right. Or that he's not able to control a football because he's playing on the right. He's not able to pass the ball because he's playing on the right. Rubbish. This guy should be going at defenders, taking them on and causing problems and crossing the ball. But nothing. You then got Jamal Lascelles at the centre-back position. Poor Fabian Schär is trying to cover 2 positions because he doesn't know where the hell Lascelles is going. He's all over the shop. Trying to play offside traps, trying to do this and that. And he's costing us goals every single time. God knows what Salah and Mane are going to do to him on Thursday if he's in the team. Absolutely reckless. He's reckless, he's slow, he's pathetic. You know, and why we don't cross the ball, I'll never know. Right? Manquillo gets the ball a number of times yesterday, passes it back. So many times we got the ball in the second half, in the Leicester half, and then it ends up back with Dubravka. I mean, what the hell is that all about? We did it in the first half as well, to be fair, but we were in the game in this first half. We were actually competing. And then you come to St. Maximin, who is going to divide opinion left, right and centre, as flair players normally do. But this guy is not a team player. He is not a team player. He's an individual, and we can't afford to have that in the team at the minute. We need a bit of guts. We need a bit of drive. We need somebody who's going to be passing the ball off to the players that are available. So many times. First half, Joe Linton made some great runs down the left-hand side and just needed to play it in. But St. Maximin, being the player he is, he turns inside and he's got 3 players and he thinks, right, I'm going to beat you. And then he loses the ball and Leicester City are on the attack. The second half, Jamal Lewis is standing there waiting for the ball just to be laid off to him so he can whip a ball in. But again, no, St. Maximin tries to do it all himself. Now, don't get me wrong, this guy's a magnificent player when he's in full flow, running at defenders. Great to watch. But there's a time and a place. But St. Maximin doesn't know the time and the place. He does it all the time. There's no end product from him at all. Nothing. And then all we tried to do to get Callum Wilson in the game yesterday was try and play over the top. Doesn't work. We know that Callum Wilson thrives on crosses into the box that he can get his head on, or he's sniffing around for a rebound. I just don't know what the hell we were doing in the second half. As soon as that second goal went in for Leicester, it was the usual Newcastle United. Heads down. We've lost the game. There's no chance for us. And to be honest, it's coming to a point now where the only shining light in this sodden team is Joe Linton. And there's still going to be the Joe Linton haters out there, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, I've been one of his biggest critics on this channel. But no, I'm sorry, I'm going to stick up for the guy here. He is working his arse off for this team. He's working his arse off for Newcastle United. He's working his arse off for the fans, for his manager, for the badge. Can you say that about many of the other players on that pitch? No, you can't. And yes, he gives the ball away sometimes, but his work rate, he's winning the ball back. And like I say, he gets the ball, he gives it to the likes of St. Maximin, and we end up losing the ball. It's frustrating for Joe Linton as it is for the fans. He's doing all the hard work winning the ball back, and then the ball's coming back again because we've lost it. Now, against Liverpool, we need to try something new. We need to change something. Now, for me, I'd take Willock out. I'd put Joe Linton next to Shelvey. I'd put Fraser on the left. I'd put Murphy on the right. Stick Gale up front with Callum Wilson. And just play 4-4-2. Federico Fernandez back alongside Schär. And just go 4-4-2. I hate using the line free hit. But, you know, come on. We're not going to beat Liverpool. Let's be honest here. If we do, it'll be a monumental miracle. I hope that happens. Of course I do. But let's be realistic. Just try something new. Try something different. Give some players an opportunity in that first team to fight for the places. You know, Federico Fernandez against Norwich. He fought for his place and then was dropped again. So whatever shit is going on behind the scenes with Fernandez, sort it out. The club is bigger than any sort of rift. Get him in the team and get him performing. Not this bollocks that we saw in the second half yesterday. Because it's simply not good enough. We need people who are going to be in the trenches, fighting and scrapping for every single loose ball, fighting and scrapping for every point available. But we didn't see that yesterday. We just did not see it. Hopeless, man. Hopeless. But, you know, like I say, there's many players on that first 11 that are going to divide a lot of opinion. This is just my opinion. Everyone is going to have an opinion. So let me know down in the comments about certain individuals, about what you thought of the performance. Where do we go from here? What would you do against Liverpool? So let's keep it to an adult conversation instead of slagging people off in comments and stuff like that, because everyone has an opinion. No matter what you think. You know, it's just people's opinion. That's just mine. But let's move on to the player ratings anyway. We'll start off with Dubravka. Look, I thought he couldn't do anything about the goals yesterday, but what I did think it was better was his catching. He was coming out, he was claiming crosses, and I thought he did okay. But again, you know, so is kicking is sort of, it's all over the place still. And you know, we said this with Darlow as well. It's just not good enough. So Dubravka gets a 5. Mankiw on the right hand side, very frustrating for me because he had numerous opportunities to get the ball crossed in yesterday and didn't. Simply just turned back, lost the ball. So it's a 3 for Mankiw. Lewis on the left hand side. I thought they got round him a few times too easy yesterday. Not really his best performance, but again, you know, the whole back line just was all over the place yesterday. So a 3 for Lewis. Fabian Schär in the middle, I'm going to give him a 5 because he had to cover Lascelles so many times. And when you're live at a game like that, you can see Lascelles is all over the place. You know, his positioning, his actual reading of the game is all over the place. And the other central defender is having to cover his arse so many times. Lascelles himself, I'm giving a 1. He was absolutely pathetic yesterday. No leadership. Absolutely no leadership when the goals were scored. No G'ing of the players up, no nothing. And his performance was absolutely diabolical. Into the midfield, we look at John Joe Shelvey. I thought he did all right, to be honest. I mean, yeah, he wasn't at his utmost best, but the whole team weren't yesterday. So I'll give John Joe a 4. We then move on to Joe Willock. And I'm sorry, but that was just a nothing performance from Joe Willock again. So Joe Willock for me is getting a 1. I would give him less, but I'm just going to give him a 1 just simply because he actually came out for the second half. So he'll get a 1 for me. Now up front we got Miggy Almiron. I mean, I've seen that the Chronicle give Miggy Almiron a 7. I don't know what game they're watching or what kind of player they're watching. Miggy for me was just shocking again, so he gets a 3. Joe Linton for me, again, put himself around, did really well. Nothing spectacular, but he did give the ball away for the 4th goal, so he gets a 6. On the left-hand side, St. Maximan, a few good dribbles, so I'll give him a 2. And Callum Wilson up front, starved of anything, so a 5 for Callum Wilson. The subs that came on, I thought Ryan Fraser did very well when he came on. Really tried to make something happen, so he'll get a 6. As for Jacob Murphy on the other side, again, tried to make something happen, but the players around him just weren't there, so a 6 for him. And Matt Ritchie came on too late to give a rating to. As for the manager, Eddie Howe, you know, I think he gets it wrong. He gets it wrong playing Lascelles, and we all know that. So unfortunately, it's only a 5 for Eddie Howe yesterday, straight down middle of the lane. Nothing spectacular. So there you go, guys. That's what I thought. I mean, it's dreadful. It's just dreadful. You know, I'm going down to Liverpool again on Thursday, and I'm dreading it, to be honest, because we will have to watch a match where Liverpool have about 80% possession. You know, there's no doubt in my mind about that Liverpool are going to see Newcastle as an opportunity to really improve their goal difference. But what it'll do to us, it'll really damage ours, and we've got to be careful with goal difference because that could be worth a point come the end of the season, given the scrap that we're going to be in. Where the players come from in January, I don't know who's going to want to come in. You know, we may have to offer these guys an opportunity to try and go us out the crap, and if if we go down, we promise them a loan out to another Premier League side somewhere to play for a season and then come back if we get back up. That's the only way I can see us enticing players to come. Hopefully, if you get some decent ones in, it might give us a bounce and might give us enough points to stay up. But at the minute, guys, it's just flat. You struggle to see where we are going to get the points from to stay in this league. It's really, really sad. But you know what it is? We just have to lick our wounds now and try and do something at Liverpool. Try something different. Because if we go out with the same 11, we're going to get busted. Absolutely busted. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to damage confidence even more. Because Leicester were not special yesterday. They didn't have to get out of first gear. We didn't make them get out of first gear. I'm sure Brendan Rodgers and his team were expecting a much tougher game yesterday, given that fatigue might have been an element towards the second half, but it just didn't happen that way because we didn't give them a game, and that's a disappointing thing for me. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you thought. Where do we go from here? What do you think the Liverpool side should be? And again, make it sensible conversation, guys. Stop making stupid comments and having digs. Let's just act like adults and have conversations like adults, eh? But there you go. That's my video. If you have enjoyed it, guys, please do, as usual, hit the like button. If you are new to the channel and you enjoy what you see, please consider subscribing. Loads of new subscribers recently, so thank you very much to each and every one of you. And I will catch you on the live shows coming up this week. Have a great week, guys. Take care.